mentioned on the podcast there, Bex, about how you were doing this podcast because we're promoting women in art. We're promoting women generally, but specifically women in the visual arts. So I'm curious, given your very somewhat specialized area of artsmithing, as we call it now, if you've seen an increase in women coming into that form of visual arts.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, like when I went to Hereford, there was only like a handful of us back. This is like in the 1996 when I was there. Now, Hereford, there's so many more females doing blacksmithing, which is it's brilliant. It's fantastic. There are a lot of amazing female blacksmiths out there, artsmiths. So yeah, which is fantastic.
Because at the face of it, it would seem to be a very male-dominated profession. And I know in terms of farriering, or blacksmith as it used to be, there are more women that are farriers these days, a lot more women. And certainly over here in the US, a lot more women. And I'm wondering if there's some sexism attached to the anything that happens in the forge. Did you find that when you were in college at Hereford, you say? I mean, I know Hereford has a very good program for farriery as well as
Yeah,
blacksmithing.
yeah.
So I'm wondering if there was an aspect of sexism there when you were getting started.
No, not within the industry. I never experienced anything really bad. I mean, well, there was like one little instance, but generally speaking, all the blacksmiths that I had around me were really supportive and great. It was the problem I had was with suppliers. So it was outside of the sort of the blacksmith community, as it were. So once I'd set my business up, and it was so early then, it was 1999, that I would have issue with male suppliers, sort of not taking me seriously and stuff like that. But the blacksmith community have always been, really supportive. And I personally, I didn't experience anything bad with them. Always advice and help, and which was brilliant.
Where do you see the direction of young girls and women going in this area? What is it that is appealing to them? Is it what appealed to you when you started?
Um, I don't know. I mean, it is just such a wonderful craft. I mean, what attracted me was the material and fire. So I'm not sure for the others. I mean, it was just the medium. It was like it was calling me. Maybe I'm because I'm a fire sign. I don't know. And then obviously once you heat metal up, it's really malleable. It's like sort of plasticine. And I suppose I was working in clay before, so maybe that. So yeah, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I'm wondering if also the physical aspect of it now, because women are obviously showing how capable they are in so many different ways to what we used to do. I mean, that's right across, the whole spectrum of life.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering because it's very hard work, right? It's very hard physical work, and I'm wondering if maybe in rural England there's a more of an appetite for that than there is in some countries.
Yeah, again, I don't know. I mean, it is hard work, and not for the faint-hearted, and you do hurt yourself. I mean, I do. I'm quite clumsy and stuff. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It must be some kind of breed of us females that, like to get our hands dirty and covered in dust.
Absolutely. And today, when you're teaching, which you say you're teaching regularly, are you getting more girls?
Oh my goodness, yeah. Totally, it's probably an even balance. The one thing, knife making though, that's quite a lot more male. Yeah, the knife making's a bit different, but forging, no, it's probably a completely even, I'd say.
I wonder why the men favor the knives then. Is it because they're making them when they're making the sheath, the whole thing, and that's going to be their pocket knife or their belt knife? Is that the appeal, do you think, for men?
I don't know. I think Forged in Fire has got a lot to answer for, for it. But yeah, a lot of people want to make knives. It's funny because on a forging side, because we don't actually teach that, we have a bladesmith that comes in. And if you're comparing the amount of forging, there's not a lot of forging with the knives. There's you forge it out, but then there's a lot of sharpening and stuff like that. So I mean, personally, I think it's more fun, sort of doing the art. But
Yeah.
anyway, bladesmiths will hate me for saying that because
So
it's incredibly tricky and difficult making knives.
yeah, I totally get that. So I'm wondering where these girls are going then. When they come to you for classes, where are they going after that? Where are they going into professionally?
No, this is just a blacksmith experience. We're just, sort of come and have an experience and
Hmm.
make something with us.
Okay. Well, the other thing we didn't get a chance to talk to and talk about on the podcast, and I always love to hear about people's tastes in music and books and things like that. So with working in a forge, I can't imagine you'd be able to play any music in there with the noise that you make. But what do you listen to for fun?
Oh gosh, I always have Radio 6 on,
Radio
pretty much
6,
most of the,
BBC
yeah,
Radio 6. Okay.
yeah. Because you've got all the alternative music, in the chats and yeah, most of the DJs. I like Techno Tuesday, a bit of techno from the old days. Yeah, no, I always have music on. I mean, I do have, when you have the fan for the hearth on, it sometimes drowns it out, but then you've got the
Mhm.
ear defenders that you can listen through, which is really handy. But I always have to have music or something on
Do you
because
really?
otherwise, yeah,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, because my brain is just too hectic, so it sort of drowns it out. Like the kitchen, there's always radio on and stuff.
Yeah, I would have thought it would be too noisy in the shop, but you've proved me wrong there.
Oh my
Um,
God, my workshop is so noisy, so hectic. The smithy here is so different because it's all, it's off grid apart from the lights, which
mhm.
eventually will. And we've got the traditional bellows, so it's like breathing lungs and it's all very calm and meditative. But then you go in my workshop and I'm really hectic and clumsy and loud. It's a completely different vibe.
Well, with all that banging, have you broken any fingers?
Oh goodness me, yeah.
All of them.
I shattered the whole top of this one. I burned, I have my burn here. Oh, I did something with my jaw and spat a bit of a tooth out, all sorts of things.
The scars of the job, the scars of the
Yeah,
job. Now
absolutely.
you being dyslexic though, obviously you can't read books, probably. Bex, am I right in thinking you wouldn't sit down and read a book?
Well, I do. I mean, I'm currently reading two books at the moment. I'm a bit slow. I have got a lot better, and stuff. I think it's just early doors. So I'm reading two books at the moment, which are amazing. And yeah, and I mean, I do love buying art books. So, I've got a lovely library of artists and people that inspire me in nature and geometry and things. So I
What do
do
you
love a book.
what are you reading then now?
So I'm reading The Pivot Year, and is it the creative way? No, the creative way of being. It's got those words. Something like the creative way of being. It's
Uh-huh.
an art book. It's amazing. It's a white book with a circle and a dot in the middle. See, I sort of select what I remember, but it's
Yes.
it's basically if you're doing art, it's just a way of oh, it's so hard. Can we put a link to it at the end?
Yes,
Because I
definitely.
would recommend it to absolutely everybody. I've actually bought two copies and given them to friends. So, yeah, another friend told me to read it, and it's brilliant.
Okay, yeah, we'll definitely link to those. So it's a varied taste you have then in books. Do you listen to audiobooks?
I have done, but I always forget because now when I'm out walking, I don't even listen to music. I tend to listen to my thoughts and design stuff now.
Any plans in the future for a book of your work?
Oh gosh, I've not. actually thought of that. At the moment, I just want to make the work. That's all that's on my mind every day, is just making art.
And have you thought about sort of training videos as well? I mean, demonstrating your techniques. Do you use
Uh,
those?
well, I mean, on Instagram, I just put the odd thing up. But again, through my whole career, we've done various different things, to try and create a living and stuff like that. And I'm not a natural teacher. It's really not in me. Obviously, I'm teaching at Old Pound, just mainly because I have to, bring the money in and stuff like that. But I don't really enjoy it. I enjoy people, but I'm not a teacher. So I'll just chuck up the odd thing, on social media of what I'm doing, but that's it. It's just I'm just doing a record of my stuff. I really don't want to teach. I want to be incredibly selfish now and just spend my time making art. So yeah, if I put a little video up on Instagram, that's just that. But yeah, I'm going to be really selfish now.
Well, let's hope there's a publisher listening to this podcast or watching this video who has the foresight to create a coffee table book of your work, because I think that would be absolutely fabulous.
Oh,
Maybe
well,
there's
thank
somebody out
you.
there.
Yeah. Well, I still feel like I need about 5 years to build an incredible thing of work. I feel like it's all just starting now. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a backlog of stuff that I've done, but this is like the beginning, really.
You've only just begun. There's a song in there. Bex, thank you so much for taking the time to do the podcast and adding this little bit of bonus content for our listeners and viewers to the art podcast. And good luck with all that you're doing and being so creative and inspiring, really, the generation of women that are following in your footsteps.
No, thank you. Thank you very much.